My name is Elisa Russ, and this is my first year as the agriculture teacher here at Clear Lake. I come from a family of educators, and it was really cool for me to be able to see just the purposeful career that my parents had, and I really wanted to echo that and what I was going to do for my career. I never really strayed too far away from education. It was always kind of dabbling between what area I wanted to go into, but towards the end of my high school career, I recognized that agriculture was a really cool place to be, and ag education has a really unique way that it impacts students, and I wanted to be able to continue that impact on future students that I would have the opportunity to interact with, and again, just to have that purposeful career was super important for me as well. I think my parents and then my older sister, especially within talking about role models within like the career area, those would be my big ones. They're all very different in how they run their classroom and their strengths and whatnot, but they each played a really important role in me trying to be the best teacher that I could be. My mom's a special ed teacher, and from her, I always remember, it's all students that are in my room, trying to get to all of them at some level, regardless of ability, trying to get them interested in what I was teaching or just excited about coming to class. My sister does an amazing job of the work-life balance, and that's something that, I'll be honest, I'm a little worried about, but she helps me remind, this is a really important job and we do have really important work, but it's also important, to be recharged and take care of yourself and all that sort of stuff. And then my dad was the initial spark, of course, having him in class and just how excited he was about agriculture and how that excitement throughout the course of the semester and the year is something that I always work to achieve as well. I think it was the second day of school. Just, why is agriculture important? And we talked about the need that exists in Iowa that food insecurity, and how, we are arguably the state that feeds the rest of the world. So we talked about the need for that and just the need of people understanding where their food comes from and why it's healthy and why it's safe, because there's a lot of misconceptions out there. We also threw up the world population clock, and we talked about how there's supposed to be 9.7 billion people on the face of the earth in 30 years. And for some students, it was like, oh wow, that's a lot to try and think about. But it really drove home the point of this is super relevant and it's super important because everybody has to eat, everyone should have a healthy diet and have access to that. And the only way they do that is through agriculture. There's so many avenues that they can still be involved in agriculture in, and I think students are really starting to see that. It is such a diverse industry and everybody is involved in it, so just taking the chance to get to know it a little bit more, I think students would instantly be interested in what we do. At the core of what I want this room to be and what I want this program to be, I want it to be a welcoming and inclusive space for students where they feel comfortable and also feel challenged to constantly learn and think in new ways and apply what they're learning. The relevance of what we're teaching is super easy. Explaining that why is something that just comes naturally in what we do, and that's something that I want embedded every single day that students walk into this room. Feeling comfortable, feeling included in everything that we're talking about, regardless of what their background is or what their opinions are. When that happens, everything else will just come with it, but I want Clear Lake to be known as just a really solid program. I think big picture, creating a really awesome experience for the students in the program, and then having a reputation of the students that come out of the Ag Ed program at Clear Lake are really quality, hardworking, intelligent, and learning-driven students, then I'll be happy. What got me into agriculture was just the variety that existed there. So my dad did a really good job of kind of painting that picture when I was in high school of, doesn't matter if you come from a farm, and if you do, that's great, but there's gonna be a place for you in this industry. And I think that's just so wicked cool, and I love being able to help students find their spot. FFA was, that was my jam in high school. I really liked it. I was super involved in other things, but FFA was always, what kind of took priority for me. I served as a chapter officer, a district officer, and then I was a state officer for 2 years as well, which was just an incredible experience and really kind of fueled the fire that I have for a passion for Ag Ed. I've worked for National FFA as well for some of their leadership conferences, which again just kind of solidified the fact that yes, I'm in the right area. I'm kind of going down the right path right now, and just constantly seeing the impact that Ag Ed makes on students is kind of what kept me in it. But I always love sharing the fact that I didn't come from a farm and then I'm teaching students, about what goes on in production agriculture. I think it's kind of cool and brings a unique perspective as well. I actually had a student ask, I said, why did you decide to come to Clear Lake? And one of the things that really created buy-in for me was the support that was in the community. Just the talk of this program at Iowa State in our department, it was known that the community was rearing to get this going. And from what I've seen, it's this army of people that are just really excited about this program and want to start giving those opportunities to students. Financial support has been just unbelievable. And just the idea of what do we need that's going to make us a good program? Okay, let's do it. There's really no question as long as that rationale is there, and that is something that is priceless. But along with the treasures of the financial aspect, the commitment that people have to just serving the program in general is really awesome as far as dedicating their time and their talents. The fact that support is already so high is unreal. And I have a lot of colleagues of mine that are very jealous, including my dad. Every time that I talk about just the support that's here, he's like, you are so lucky to have that. And I'm aware of that. I'm grateful for that every time, that I'm reminded of it. But yeah, the community support is just incredible. And I feel really, really blessed to be able to harness that and to use it and to play a part in it as well.